Alright, what is going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of In the Hot Seat. And this week in the Hot Seat we got a returning guest host. Unfortunately, we're supposed to have another guest host, but they weren't able to do it at this time. So we do have one guest for this week. And do you want to introduce yourself before we get started?
Sure. I am iammclovin155, and this is the second time I'm doing this, and glad to be back.
Alright, it's glad to have you back, and let's not waste any much time, and let's get right into the questions. Starting it off here, I'm going to start it off with this one. If The Rock didn't go to do movies full time, what would you like or want him to be doing actually in wrestling?
Alright, I wanted him to be, still wrestling, of course. He's still young, by the way. He's like 37, but I would have liked him to do something like Chris Benoit, after he won the title in '04.
Right.
He went for the U.S. Championship, Intercontinental Championship, and, fought with mid-carders. Something like that. The Rock having a feud with mid-carders, that would be nice. But I don't think, going on from 2003 when he left until now, I don't think you could still go from 7 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have gotten a little boring. But so it does make sense that he left, but I don't think he should have left so early. I think 2005 or 2006, that would have been the point for him to leave, but it's now, it's really late. I would like him to come back, however. He did come back on SmackDown a year ago, but he was on the Tron. No one wants to see him in the Titantron, even though it was good to see him back. We want to see him physically in the ring, cutting a promo, having a match in the ring. That'd be much better than watching him talk on a Tron. Even though he was his normal self, he did say "can eat ass," and they didn't bleep him out. So it was a really nice thing for him coming back. But, just one more time in the ring. Like I said, he's 37. He can still go.
Yeah, and I, too, like everyone else, would like to have him back. Definitely not in the Tron. I think in-ring promo is definitely much more better, and seeing The Rock actually there. I think that's where he's also at his best, too. And, yes, he is still young. I believe he can still go at least one more time. Even if it's part-time, it doesn't have to be full-time. He can come back once in a while, do a match, or put someone over, something like that. I think that will also be great, too. To take some time off from the movies for a while and then go back in the ring and do, a good feud or something like that. I think that would be great, too, as well. So, having The Rock back, I think everyone will definitely like that, as well as, me and you. So that's very good with that. Next question we got here is, what could you do to help out the women's division in mainstream wrestling, and what could you do to help it make it better?
I wouldn't restrain them. I'd let the wrestlers do what they want to do, show off their talent, and not be restrained by, handcuffs.
Yeah.
They should be able to do what they do. But the main problem why divas aren't really, taken seriously is because they have 1-minute matches, and most of the time they're not good. They're just space holders until we get to the main event or something. That shouldn't be. They should always have good matches no matter what. The thing is, they only hire models. I mean, we do have some women's wrestlers in there that actually have talent and can wrestle, like Natalia. She trained with her father, Jim Gamble Neidhart.
Yeah.
And, some of them actually have skills and talents. Mickey James was a good wrestler as well. So they don't have to be all models. They can be good wrestlers. But that's what they need to do, show off their talent.
Yeah, it's absolutely true, and they have been basically piss breaks to most people, and it's really a shame that it's come to that, because, in, the earlier days, women's wrestling was actually interesting, and they had storylines in the way, too, and actually had some, good matches, and at one point they were in the main event, too, so it's very rare that you get to see that, and, now they're nothing but, just down to minute matches, or even less than a minute, which sucks. But they definitely should have, have more time and show off the talent, because they're just as good as the guys too. So, if you want, future, girls to be in, women's wrestling, and, they should have more time, so those girls can have, something to look forward to. So
Yeah.
that's also another good thing too.
And sometimes, most of the time they're like 1 minute to 2 minutes match.
Yeah.
But But sometimes this is just like a couple of times. Sometimes on pay-per-views they'll make them 6 minutes, but it's
Yeah.
still boring, and they're not showing off their talent.
Yeah.
I like back then with Lita. You know, she was talented. Trish was talented. China was talented.
Yeah.
All those women back then, like 10 years ago, back in the Attitude Era, they all had talent. And you know, even though the matches weren't 20 minutes, they were like 7 minutes. It was still a good women's match.
Exactly.
It's just right now they're all models and shit.
Yeah, it's true. And sad too, but hopefully somehow you know, the women's division will get better mainstream wise too as well. So you know, those are very good thoughts. I really like that. Alright, next thing we got here, of course, we got the return of the King of the Ring, which is coming this coming Monday and tomorrow to be exact. Of course, the return of the King of the Ring. Who do you want to see win this year's King of the Ring?
My two top picks would have to be John Morrison and Sheamus.
Okay.
Sheamus, I'm like, he's like my second, you know, he's like a backup. But the person I want to win mainly is John Morrison because, you know, he's worked his ass off. The guy doesn't have great charisma. Well, he has charisma, but not great mic skills. They're not that great. But the dude can have good spots. He has good matches. All his matches entertain me because of his spots. He's a great athlete, and he's good at what he does. You know, it's good to see him, you know, building himself up slowly. But, yeah, hopefully John Morrison. Someone else I could see winning this, possibly Alberto Del Rio and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, I don't know, because he's a little bit boring for me. But Alberto, he's got the charisma, but I think he needs like one more year.
Sorry, you still there?